Right now, somewhere out there, a version of you is living on $0 a year. Another version is making 10,000, another 100,000, another a full million. Same face, same hands, same heart, but 10 completely different lives. So what actually changes when the number in your bank account changes? Not what you think. Let's find out. At $0, there's no paycheck coming, no safety net waiting to catch you. This is survival mode. You live in a single bare room, one mattress, one bulb hanging from the ceiling. Breakfast is whatever's left in the box. Dinner is whatever you can make stretch. There's no car, so you walk everywhere, rain or shine. Every bill becomes a decision. Food or the electric bill, rent or medicine. Savings isn't even a word you use anymore. Friends start to feel distant because showing up costs money you don't have. Free time exists, but it's heavy, filled with worry instead of rest. The stress never fully turns off, and yet you keep counting coins, keep waking up, keep trying. At $0, your biggest asset isn't money. It's just getting through today. Then a paycheck starts coming in. $10,000 a year. It's not much, but it's something. You move into a cramped, shared apartment, thin walls, a stranger's shadow passing in the hallway. Dinner most nights is instant noodles, boiled on a single burner. Your job is part-time, unpredictable hours, a schedule that changes every week. You still walk or catch the bus when you can afford the fare. Bills get paid late, then later. Savings is a jar, not an account. Relationships lean on each other for survival as much as company. Free time is short and exhausted. The stress doesn't disappear here, it just changes shape, from starving to scraping by. At 20,000, something shifts. You can plan a week ahead instead of just a day. Maybe you find your own small apartment, one room, but yours. Groceries get a little more variety, still cheap, but chosen instead of scavenged. You're working full-time now, retail or food service, on your feet for hours. You take the bus every morning at dawn, coffee in a reusable cup, watching the city wake up through the window. Rent eats almost half of everything you make. A savings account exists, but it's thin, easily wiped out. One bad month, one car repair, one sick day still feels like a small crisis waiting to happen. 30,000 looks like progress on paper. You might have a used car now, something that mostly starts on the first try. A little cushion in savings. But this is exactly where lifestyle creep sneaks in quietly. A streaming subscription here, a nicer dinner there, a small upgrade you tell yourself you deserve. Suddenly, you're back to living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher altitude. Your job feels more stable, maybe even has a title now. But checking your bank app before checking out at the store becomes a habit you can't shake. Bills get paid on time. Savings barely grows. You're standing on a tightrope and you know it. At 50,000, life starts to feel manageable. You shop for groceries without doing math in your head at every aisle. A weekend trip doesn't send you into panic. You've got a steady job now, maybe your first real title, actual weekends off. Your apartment is a little bigger, a little brighter. You can say yes to a dinner out without checking your balance first. Savings actually grows, slowly, but it grows. Friendships feel easier because you can finally show up without stress. But rent or a mortgage and daily responsibilities are still firmly in charge of your life. Comfort has arrived. Freedom hasn't? Not yet. At 75,000, you start making choices instead of just reacting to emergencies. A better apartment, maybe with a view. A newer car that doesn't rattle at stoplights. Your first real savings goal, written down, tracked. Your job comes with more responsibility now, longer hours, but also more respect. You can afford a real vacation, not just a weekend escape. But your expenses are quietly rising to meet you. Every raise seems to disappear a little faster than the one before it. Standing on your balcony at golden hour, checking your savings chart, you feel momentum. Real momentum. But also the quiet sense that the finish line keeps moving. $100,000, the number everyone chases, and it does open doors. More freedom in your choices, more respect at the table. A sleek office now, maybe a title with senior in it. You walk in with a little more confidence, a smartwatch buzzing with notifications that used to be someone else's problem. You can eat out whenever you want, upgrade your apartment, drive something newer. But this is also where lifestyle inflation gets genuinely dangerous. A bigger place, nicer things, more meals out, and suddenly 6 figures doesn't feel as big as it sounds on paper. Your bills grow taller. Your taxes take a real bite. You worked so hard to get here, and somehow the pressure just followed you up the ladder. At $150,000, you can genuinely start building real wealth. Investments, a real emergency fund, not just a cushion. Maybe your first home, with an actual mortgage instead of rent. Your evening shift spent reviewing charts instead of just spending. But taxes take a bigger bite than ever before. Expectations rise, both other people's and your own. The pressure to look successful starts creeping quietly into decisions. The car you buy, the neighborhood you choose, the vacations you post about. You have more options now than you've ever had. But somewhere in the sophistication, a small tension sits underneath the confidence, whispering that you should be further along. $250,000 buys experiences most people only dream about. First-class flights, nice restaurants without glancing at the prices, real vacations, not just quick escapes. Money stress fades quietly into the background for the first time in your life, but new stress moves in to take its place. Bigger spending habits, higher expectations from yourself, from everyone around you. Sitting in that window seat, watching the clouds turn gold at sunset, a strange question creeps in that you didn't expect. Is this actually making me happier? Or did I just trade one kind of pressure for another? At $500,000, something even stranger happens. Wealth building can become almost automatic if you manage it well. Your investments are growing. Your home is valuable. Your choices are wider than they used to be. You can replace a broken appliance without panicking. You can take a vacation without spending months recovering financially. You can help your family when they need it. You can say yes to opportunities that once would have been impossible. But money has a strange way of creating new responsibilities. The house gets bigger, the expenses get bigger, the expectations get bigger. There are more people depending on you, more decisions to make, more things that need your attention. Maybe you have employees. Maybe you run a business. Maybe your career has become something that follows you home every night. And suddenly, you realize something. Money stopped being the problem. Time became the problem. You can buy a beautiful home, but you can't buy back an evening you spent working. You can fly anywhere in the world, but you can't make the people you love stop getting older. You can afford the best restaurant in the city, but you still need someone to share the meal with. The number in your bank account has changed dramatically, but you are still you. You still get tired. You still worry. You still wonder whether you're doing enough. You still want people around you who genuinely care about you. And then you reach $1 million a year. $1 million. Almost anything you want is within reach. The best food, the best hotels, beautiful homes, luxury cars, first-class flights, experiences that once seemed completely impossible. If you want something, you can probably buy it. But here's the strange part. After a certain point, buying more doesn't create the same feeling anymore. The first nice car feels incredible. The next one feels normal. The first luxury vacation feels unforgettable. Eventually, it becomes another trip. The first expensive meal feels special. Eventually, it's just dinner. And that's when you begin to understand something that the version of you at $0 couldn't see. Money can remove certain problems. It can give you choices. It can give you security. It can give you opportunities. It can give you breathing room. But money can't automatically give you peace. It can't force someone to love you. It can't create genuine friendship. It can't give you more hours in a day. It can't guarantee that the people you care about will always be there. And it can't tell you what your life is actually supposed to mean. You might stand on a rooftop overlooking an entire city surrounded by millions of lights and still feel the same questions you had when you had almost nothing. Am I happy? Am I living the life I actually want? Am I spending my time on the things that matter? Am I surrounded by people who care about me or people who care about what I have? Those questions don't disappear when your income rises. Sometimes they become louder. Because when survival is no longer demanding all your attention, you finally have enough space to ask yourself what you're surviving for. And maybe that's the biggest change of all. At $0, you're fighting to survive. At 10,000, you're fighting to stay afloat. At 20,000, you're trying to find stability. At 30,000, you're trying not to lose your progress. At 50,000, you're finally breathing. At 75,000, you're building momentum. At 100,000, you're opening doors. At
50,000, you're building wealth. At 250,000, you're buying freedom and experiences. At 500,000, you're protecting your time. And at 1 million, you finally realize that money was never the entire destination. The stress moved, the problems changed shape, the choices became wider, the opportunities became bigger. But the things that money can't touch remained exactly where they were. Time, peace, connection, purpose, the people you love, the memories you create, the quiet moments when nobody is watching, those things were never for sale. So maybe the goal was never simply to make more money. Maybe the goal is to build a life you don't constantly need to escape from. A life where your income supports your freedom instead of controlling it. A life where you can afford what you need without sacrificing everything that makes life worth living. Because whether you're making $0, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, or 1 million, you still only get one life. And the number on your paycheck can change your circumstances, but it doesn't have to decide who you become. So don't just ask yourself, how much money do I want to make? Ask something bigger. What kind of life do I want that money to help me build? Because at the end of the day, the richest life isn't necessarily the one with the biggest number. It's the one where you have enough time, enough peace, enough freedom, enough love, and enough purpose to look around and say, I don't need to be somewhere else. I'm exactly where I want to be.